All right, let's get right into it. Today we are going to deep dive into the future of golf.
Sounds good.
You know, you've always been fascinated by how tech is changing sports.
Right.
And
Yeah,
this is a big one.
definitely.
Golf simulators, they're about to get really good.
It seems like it.
We're talking major companies, the big names, Titleist, Callaway, even a brand new simulator stadium opening soon
Ooh, wow.
in Florida, of all places.
Interesting.
And the best part, you can play a full round way faster and cheaper than on a traditional course.
That's pretty appealing.
I think so.
Yeah. I think the big story here is how the whole golf world is shifting its focus, realizing that simulators are way more than just a way to play when it's raining.
So you're saying it's not just weekend golfers trying to get their fix in bad weather anymore?
Yeah, exactly. It's way beyond that.
Okay.
Callaway is actually launching a whole new line of golf balls just for simulators
Wow, hold on.
in January 2025.
Simulator golf balls. What's the deal with that? Like, do they have microchips in them or what?
You're not far off. It's all about accuracy and realism, making sure the ball reacts perfectly to the sensors and software, just like it would on a real course.
Oh, okay.
So spin, launch angle, different clubs, it all has to be perfect in the simulation.
So it's like you wouldn't put off-road tires on a race car. Right. They're made for a specific environment.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this simulator stadium down in Florida. This sounds like something straight out of a movie, a giant immersive screen. You said there's like a 60-meter pitching area where you hit actual shots, and then there's this digital green that can change.
It's wild, yeah.
Paint me a picture. What's it like?
So picture this. It's January 7th, 2025, opening day. You walk into this massive stadium, and there's this huge curved screen all around you showing these incredibly realistic courses from around the world. You can practically smell the fresh cut grass.
Wow.
And then you step up to the 60-meter pitching area, hit a real shot, and the tech tracks it with incredible accuracy. It lands on this virtual green that can mimic any slope or contour you can imagine.
It's like you're stepping into a video game, but with a real golf club in your hand.
Exactly. It's more than just a simulator. It's an experience.
I can see why people are excited about this.
Yeah, it's really pushing the boundaries.
It's cool how it's blending virtual and real-world golf.
Yeah, it's what's driving the popularity, definitely.
So we've talked about the tech side of things, but for someone like you, always on the go, I bet the time factor is a huge appeal.
Oh, absolutely. A traditional round can take your whole day.
Yeah, easily.
A full 18 holes can be half a day or more sometimes. With the simulator, you can get it done in like an hour, hour and a half, tops.
That's a game changer, especially for busy people. It makes golf way more accessible.
Exactly. And all that time saved also means money saved.
Ah, so it's good for the wallet, too.
Definitely.
Thousands, really.
Oh, yeah. Traditional golf memberships can cost you like 2,500 to 3,000 euros a year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Easy.
All right, well, let's break it down then. I know you were mentioning a place in Germany with some interesting pricing.
Oh, yeah, the Indoor Performance Center. Okay.
In Milheim, they've got options for everyone.
What kind of options?
So you can just drop in for an hour. That's 35 euros.
Okay.
Or you can go for the full year unlimited play. That'll run you about 1,000 euros.
Yeah.
Or there's kind of a sweet spot. You can do the monthly membership, 145 euros a month unlimited play.
Not bad. Not bad at all. And hey, they've got a special going on right now in November, just 20 euros for an hour.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
If you're ever in Milheim, you got to check it out.
Definitely.
So it sounds like this flexible pricing, is that becoming like the standard or?
Yeah, I think we're seeing it more and more. It's all about making golf accessible to more people, getting rid of those traditional barriers to entry.
Yeah, breaking down those walls.
Exactly.
So this whole simulator thing got me thinking, is it possible that someday simulators could actually be more popular than traditional courses?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's convenient, it's affordable, the tech is only getting better. Could we see a future where it's like the main way people golf? That's a really interesting question, and it's something that people are actually debating all over the golf world right now.
What do you think?
Well, I think there's room for both. Traditional courses have something special, the outdoors, the fresh air, the camaraderie, walking the course with your friends. It's hard to replicate that in a virtual setting.
Yeah, there's a certain charm to being out on a real course, battling the elements, feeling the wind and that sun on your face. That sense of accomplishment when you sink a long putt, it's pretty unique.
You got it. But simulators offer something different.
Like what?
Convenience, accessibility, a more controlled environment. It opens up the game to people who maybe don't have the time or the money for traditional golf.
It's not about one replacing the other then. It's more like They complement each other.
Exactly. Appealing to different people, offering different advantages.
I like that.
It could be that simulators become like the gateway for new golfers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they learn the ropes in the simulator, then they're ready to hit the real course.
Or maybe it's like, hey, want to get a quick night on the simulator after work?
Yeah,
You don't need to block off your whole afternoon.
exactly. Or even for seasoned golfers, it's a great way to practice, keep your game sharp during the off season or when you just don't have a lot of time.
So it's like having the best of both worlds,
Mm.
really embracing the innovation while still keeping those classic elements of the game alive.
I like that. Yeah, expanding the possibilities, not creating a divide.
So, okay, let's be real for a second. Are there any downsides to simulators? It can't all be sunshine and virtual birdies?
You're right, there are some challenges. I think one of the main ones is the social aspect.
Okay.
Traditional golf is often very social. You're out there with your friends, you meet new people, it's a big part of it.
But can't simulators be social too? Just in a different way? Like look at online gaming communities. People form real connections through shared experiences online.
That's a really good point, and we're already seeing that happening with simulators. There are online leagues and tournaments where people from all over the world can compete and interact with each other. So yeah, the social side is definitely evolving.
So simulators can be innovative and inclusive.
It's really cool to see.
That's really neat, expanding the reach of the sport, maybe even creating new communities along the way.
It is.
But what about the purists? The hardcore traditional golfers. Will they ever really embrace this?
I think there will always be people who prefer the traditional experience, and that's okay. The beauty of golf is that it can cater to all these different preferences and having these different options. I think it just makes the sport richer overall.
It's kind of like music, right? You might love classical music, but that doesn't mean you can't also enjoy electronic music. They each have their own unique appeal.
Exactly. And just like with music, having different choices within golf lets people find what they like best and connect with the sport in a way that really speaks to them.
This has been really eye-opening, honestly. I'm thinking about booking some simulator time myself now, but before we wrap up, what's like the one big thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that simulator golf isn't just a fad, it's here to stay, and it's really changing the sport in a big way.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
It could actually help golf grow, bring in new people who might not have ever tried it otherwise.
Yeah, I think so. It's all about making the sport more open and giving more people a chance to experience it, whether that's on a beautiful green course or inside one of these high-tech simulators.
That's a future I can definitely get behind.
Yeah.
So before we wrap things up, let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
Could this be the thing that actually makes golf more popular? Not less.
Mm.
I mean, look at how video games have brought all these new fans to different sports. Could simulators do the same for golf? Bring in people who never would have thought about playing the traditional game?
That's a great question. And if simulators can tap into that generation, the ones who love tech and want things to move fast, then yeah, I think it could definitely happen. It could be the key to making golf even bigger and making sure it stays relevant for years to come.
So big picture, what you're saying is this isn't just some fad. It's like a fundamental shift in how we even think about golf.
Exactly. And it's really just the beginning. The stuff we see in the next few years could be even more incredible than what we're seeing now.
Wait, even more advanced than that crazy stadium in Florida. What could they possibly come up with next?
Well, that's the exciting part. We don't know yet. But imagine simulators with VR, where you can actually feel the ground beneath your feet as you play, or maybe AR golf courses that pop up right in your own backyard.
Okay, now you're just messing with me.
Maybe, maybe not.
But seriously, the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's a really dynamic time for golf. It's embracing all this new tech and pushing the limits of what's possible.
Well, I'm convinced. I'm booking some simulator time this week. I think everyone should give it a try. Who knows? You might discover a whole new way to enjoy the game.
Absolutely. It's time to step into the future of golf.
I love it. Well, this has been a fantastic deep dive. Thanks for joining us. And as always, keep exploring.